time. We'll inhale our arms overhead. Connect those palms, exhale them down into our heart center. One more time. Inhaling up, reaching to the sky. Exhaling those hands and just connecting those thumbs at our heart for a moment. Just breathing, feeling the rhythm of our heartbeat. Noticing our breath and how we feel physically and mentally. We can let those hands come to our knees, palms up or palms down, or fingertips on the floor. And we're just going to take a couple of moments here in our pranayama practice, our breath practice, to find ourselves physically and mentally connected to our breath. So we're going to inhale and exhale through our nose. We can have those eyes soft and fluttered closed so we come inward. So as you inhale through your nose, picture the beach scattered with footprints. As you exhale, you continue to observe all those footprints are our thoughts and to-dos. And now as we inhale, our breath is that ocean wave as it gently comes into shore. And as we exhale, it gently goes back out. As we settle into our breath, we'll notice each time we inhale, a footprint or two clears from the sandy beach. And each time we exhale, the wave goes back out just as gentle as it came in. We're not forcing our breath, but just trying to find our own flowing wave pattern. Each and every breath may clear a footprint or two. If you still have some footprints on the sand, you always take notice and give them acknowledgement, but we'll pass on by those footprints and we'll come back to them later. So we're going to take our attention inward. We've been noticing the footprints in the sand and what our ocean wave as it comes in and out through our body can help us clear and quiet those footprints. But as we come inward now with our breath, we're going to notice where we're holding tightness and tension. Is it our shoulders, our neck, our hips? So as that ocean wave gently flows in and out, let's start to send the inhale to any of those tight or tense areas. We're preparing ourselves mentally and physically for our practice. Letting our sandy beach clear and be free of debris. And now as you inhale, try to fill up all the way down into your belly. So you'll feel the inflation in our chest, our ribs, our abdominals will poof out. And then as you exhale, everything will constrict back into our body. Our breath may become a little longer and a little slower. We'll just take a few more moments here. And we'll continue our pranayama practice, our breath practice throughout. Anytime you feel a disconnection, an obstacle, we'll use our breath to help us overcome, maybe even surpass. So we can keep those eyes fluttered closed if we'd like. Our next inhale, we're just going to take our arms overhead, reaching to the sky again, find those palms to meet. Exhale those hands down into our heart center. And just feel that connection with those thumbs at our heart. Our next inhale, we're just going to open our hands wide, palms face out, squeeze those shoulder blades together, slightly puff out our heart, and maybe lift our chin just an inch. Just like we're giving a little nod or a little gaze up, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and as we exhale, we're going to cross the right arm over the left and give ourselves a hug, and just squeeze in. Next inhale, open up. Feel those shoulder blades squeeze together. Bring that left arm on top. Squeeze and give yourself a hug. We're going to open up again as we inhale. Exhale, right arm on top and squeeze. One more time, left side. We'll open up and squeeze those shoulder blades together. Then we're just going to release our arms to our side. Feel both palms resting at our sides. My fingertips are pointing out in the same direction as my shoulders, and just feel connected. We're going to inhale our arms overhead, reaching high to the sky. Slightly lift our chin, spin our pinkies forward, our thumbs back. Feel the core engaged. We're lifting out of our sits bones. We're going to release this right hand. Lift through our left waist, exhale over for some lateral flexion to the right side. We'll inhale back up, bring that right arm, release this left hand, exhale over to our left. Inhaling up, we're going to twist to our right here. Release the left hand on the outside of the right knee and kickstand with our right. Exhale as we twist into our right waist. Our gaze can start to follow our right shoulder, if that's comfortable on our neck. We're going to unravel, bring those arms back overhead. Exhale and twist to the left. Take this right hand on the outside, kickstand, and just a long exhale here. An inhale, and another exhale. Twist. We're going to inhale those arms back up to center, exhale and down to our heart. One more time, we're just going to combine that together. Inhaling up, we'll exhale those hands out to our side, palms facing forward. Give ourselves that hug. Open up. Exhale and hug. Open up. Drop your right hand. Lift through your left waist for lateral flexion. Inhale up. Drop our left. Exhale over. We're going to twist to our right. Release our hands. And exhale and deepen the twist. Inhale to center, exhale and twist to our left. We're going to inhale back up, bring those hands down into our heart center. We're going to come on our hands and knees. So aligning the wrist under our shoulders, we're finding tabletop, knees under our hips. We're going to warm up our spine with a few cat and cows. We're pressing into the shoelace part of our feet. Feeling long from our tail all the way up to our crown. Lift that space between your shoulder blades. Starfish those hands. And as we exhale, we're going to start to tuck our tailbone round through our middle back and then tuck our chin to our chest. And then as we inhale, lift through the crown of our head. Our chin will lift. It moves through the shoulder blade area and our tail points up, flowing 3 more times, cat and cow. Articulate through your spine, notice where you have any flat spots. One last time and we'll meet in neutral. From our neutral, we're going to slightly walk our hands out a little further in front of us and we're going to flip through our toes. Feel the connection of all 10 toes and then just lift our knees off the mat. Send our hips to the sky for our first down dog. Keep any kind of bend in your knees that you need. Pedal your feet, sway your hips. This is our first down dog maybe of the day, so we need to work out any kinks
Again, noticing where we may be holding and harboring tension, those obstacles, and use our breath. So when we're ready, find yourself pressing into those hands, pushing the mat away, spinning our elbows where the eyes are forward, sliding our shoulder blades down our back. Bring our belly button toward our spine and hinge a little deeper at our hips. And come high on your toes. And then exhale and release those heels. And just take 3 breaths here. Our next inhale, we're going to step the left foot to the center and inhale our right foot high, keeping our hips square. We'll bend this right knee, let our right heel come to our glute just to open up our hip, and we'll make some circles on the sky. Reverse the circles. We're going to point this right knee down, and we're going to bring the right knee through, but we're just going to come down onto a kneeling and keep this left leg back. So we're stretching through our calf by pressing in and then into our hands, and then stretching this left calf. We're going to bring our right hand to the center, and we're going to kickstand this right leg off our mat and roll open for a kneeling side plank. Just stretching our left hip to the sky. We're going to cast our gaze down. Slide this right leg in. We're going to flip through our toes and just step back to our downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. We're going to step our right foot now to the center. Inhale, lifting this left leg high to the sky. Bend our knee, keep our hips and shoulders square, and find those knee circles. Reverse those circles. We'll point this left knee down, and we're just going to bring it through and come down on our shin. Bring the left hand to the center. Kickstand our left leg off the mat. Roll open for a kneeling side plank. Feel a stretch through our right side body. Cast our gaze back down. Take this right hand, bring that left leg in. Step back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Each and every breath, we're stretching deeper into our downward facing dog. We're going to step this left foot to the center. Inhale our right leg to the sky, and we're going to exhale and bring that knee to our nose. Inhale back. Exhale, bring that knee to our nose. Crunch those abdominals in. You bring that knee to our nose. Next time, exhale, bring the knee to our nose, and we're going to step our right foot through and just come down on our knee for a kneeling lunge. We can stay kickstanded on our back toes, or we can release those back toes. We'll walk our hands up just behind that right knee. We're going to sink into our left hip flexor here. As we exhale, we're going to straighten this right leg, and we can keep our hands here. They can come to the mat and just come up on our right heel, finding a half splits. And we're just going to flow a little deeper into the lunge. Exhale, back into our half splits. One more time. We'll come back into this kneeling lunge here. We're going to release our hands down to our mat, flip through the left toes, come up high on our knee, step our right foot back to downward facing dog. We're going to take this to our left side, so step our right foot to the center. Inhale this left leg high. Exhale our knee to our nose. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale and straighten. Exhale, knee to nose and pause. We'll step this left foot through, come down on our right shin. Walk our hands up for a kneeling crescent lunge. Just sink into this right hip flexor for a breath or two. We're going to exhale, straighten this leg for a half split. Inhale forward. Exhale back to your half split. One more time. We'll come back to that kneeling lunge for a moment. Stretch out your right hip flexor. We're going to take our hands down to the mat. Sweep our left foot around. Lift our knees for downward facing dog. Find 3 breaths. Down dog can be a resting pose at any point if you need to reconnect with your breath. Find down dog, child's pose, or any other pose that allows you to reconnect. We're going to walk our hands or step them toward our feet, toward our hands. Keep a big bend in our knees, feet hip distance apart. Shift our weight in our toes and spill over here in a forward fold. Let that chin come towards your chest. You can grab opposite elbows for ragdoll, opening up our spine. We're going to release those hands to the mat, heel toe our feet together, bend those knees, and reverse swan dive up. We'll find our hands to meet and exhale and pull them down into our heart center. One more time. Inhaling those hands high to the sky, exhaling them down into our heart center. Just take a moment in your Tadasana. Lifting your toes to feel your legs engaged. Hands at our sides, spin those pinkies forward, thumbs back. Pull our shoulder blades together. Feel the belly button come toward our spine. And bring our ears over our shoulders. Our chin is parallel to the floor. Maybe we flutter our eyes closed to challenge our balance. This is our Tadasana, our mountain pose. Finding ourselves strong and steady in our mountain. Our next inhale, we're going to inhale our arms overhead, high to the sky. And we're going to take our right hand and just grab our left wrist. We're going to ground through this left leg, lift out of our left hip, and exhale over for some lateral flexion, keeping the left shoulder stacked on the right, breathing into our left ribs, inhaling back up. We'll switch and take this left hand on the right, exhale down to our right side. Keeping those shoulders stacked, we feel that lift from our right hip, inhaling up. We're going to exhale and bring our hands down into our heart center, and we're going to sit in our first chair. So we're going to shift our hips back. Our knees are in line with our ankles. We can lift our toes because our weight is sitting back with us. Slightly tuck that tail. We're bringing our knees and inner thighs together. And just on your next exhale, sink an inch. Next inhale, inhale our arms high to the sky for a high salute. We're just going to flow through that. Again, we'll grab the right hand around the left wrist, exhale over for lateral flexion. Inhale up, grab the right wrist, exhale over. Inhale up, you can bring your hands through your heart center, or this time keep them above your head. Exhale and sit in your chair. Breathing deeply. And from our chair, we're just gonna find those airplane arms. Slightly hinge forward, still keeping that weight back. Inhaling up to our high Tadasana. Flow one more time. Exhale over to the right for lateral flexion. Inhale back up. Switch those wrists. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale and sit in our chair. This time, if we want to come high on our toes when we find that airplane, stretch out our ankles, sink those hips an inch deeper, and we'll stand up for our Tadasana. We'll pull our hands into our heart center.
we're still warming up. We're gonna find Sun A. The first two we'll find with a half series, and then the last two we'll add a full series. As always, you can keep that half series or you can eliminate altogether by removing that Chaturanga Dandasana, Cobra, or Up Dog. So start at the top of your mat. We're just gonna inhale, our arms high to the sky. Exhale as we hinge at our hips and forward fold. From our forward fold, we're gonna slide our hands up our shins, take that halfway lift. Pull those shoulder blades back and just breathe here. You're like a tabletop. Exhale as you melt over and forward fold. We're gonna plant those hands. We're gonna hop or step back to that high plank and just come down to our knees for that kneeling plank. We're gonna pull our elbows back toward our hips and brush those elbows along our ribs as we lower all the way down to the mat as slowly as we can. We'll release the tops of our feet, press our pelvic bone down in the mat, and stay right here at the top of our ribs. Inhale up for our Cobra. You lift your hands off the mat. Breathing. We're going to release those hands back down to the floor, push ourselves up to that kneeling plank, and then shift back for our first child's pose. Releasing those hips toward our heels, elongating through that thoracic spine. Breathe into your back body here. Child's pose can also be a resting pose to help you come inward and connect. We'll take one more full round of our breath. We're just going to come to our hands and knees, flip our toes to down dog. Cast our gaze toward those hands, walk, hop, or step to our forward fold. Exhale as you melt over. Inhale as you reverse swan dive up. And we're going to open our heart. So we're going to goal post or cactus these arms, pull those shoulder blades together, and slightly lift our chin. We're going to find ourselves opening our heart and just finding ourselves lifting our head high. Okay, we're going to move a little faster, inhaling back up to Tadasana, exhaling as we forward fold. Find that halfway lift. Shift the weight in our toes. Exhale as we melt over. Plant those hands, hop or step back to your high plank, and drop to your knees. Lower yourself as slowly as you can all the way to the floor. Release those feet. Inhale up for your Cobra. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. We're going to release down, push ourselves up to our kneeling plank, and then just shift back for our child pose for 3 breaths. Our next inhale, come to our hands and knees, flip those toes, lift our hips for downward facing dog. Walk, hop, or step to the top of your mat. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale as we reverse swan dive. Goal post or cactus those arms, pull the shoulder blades together, slightly lift your chin. Inhale our arms overhead. Exhale as we forward fold. We can stay with that version, or we can add our full Chaturanga to a Cobra or an Up Dog. Exhale as you forward fold. Plant those hands, hop or step back. You can stay in high plank. Elbows point back. We lower halfway down to Crocodile. And then we can exhale, pull that heart and chest through, and just rest on the top of our feet for our Up Dog. Roll or flip through your toes. Back to down dog and take 3 breaths. Cast our gaze toward our hands, walk, hop, or step. Exhale as you melt over. Inhale as you reverse swan dive up. Exhale as you goal post and cactus. So one more time, your version. Exhale as you forward fold your breath to your movement. Everybody looks like they're warming up, getting themselves started for the weekend, opening our hearts, our chest, lifting our head up high. We'll meet in our Tadasana. And just open that heart at the end. So finding yourself at your own pace, take 3 breaths in your Tadasana. As we flow through between our sequences, you can always add in that Chaturanga Dandasana, Cobra or Up Dog. Or maybe you just want to hinge your hips. Maybe each flow is different. We're going to find ourselves not synchronized, but honoring whatever we need this morning on our mat to get us kick-started for a beautiful weekend. So from the top of our mat, we're going to inhale our arms overhead, high to the sky. Exhale as we forward fold. Take that halfway lift. Exhale as you melt back over. You're going to plant those hands, hop or step back. You can flow through any version you would like, or just hinge those hips and meet in down dog. If you're in down dog, just connect with your breath. From down dog, we're going to step our left foot to the center. We're going to inhale this right foot high. We'll bend the knee, open the hip. We'll take a couple of circles one way, then we're going to reverse. We'll bring that knee back to neutral. We're going to exhale, bring our knee to our nose. Inhale back to 3-legged down dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back to 3-legged down dog. Exhale that knee to our nose again and pause. We're going to step our right foot through for that low lunge. And take a moment, sink into the left hip flexor. We did a little stretching, but it's not all the way yet. Right knee over our ankle. We're going to engage our core, float our upper body up for our crescent lunge. Spin those pinkies forward, thumbs back, slide our shoulders down our back, and just breathe here. Feeling a stretch here in our left hip flexor. Slightly lift our chin. It's just a little above chin height. Breathing deeply. We're going to exhale and just hinge forward for that airplane. So our chest becomes parallel or hovering over our right thigh. We're holding a ball between our backs, squeezing those shoulder blades together. We're going to inhale our upper body up, keep our arms where they are, bring our hands together, find a heart opener, press those palms, straighten those elbows, open our heart and chest, puff it out, and slightly lift our head, our chin. We're going to release this bind on our hands, float them back overhead to our crescent and sink into our right leg, a little deeper bend. Next, inhale, open up to your first warrior 2. So take that right knee in alignment over the right ankle, left leg pressing the outer edge, knife's edge of our back of our foot. Our hands can come here to our hips. We're going to slightly pull our left hip back, right hip forward, but keep the right knee from caving or falling inward. And then we're going to soften our shoulders down our back and then just extend them long from our shoulders, gazing past that right middle finger, sinking a little deeper into that right knee. Everybody looks like they have a strong morning warrior. We're going to add a little vinyasa flow here. We're going to turn our palms upward. As we inhale, we're going to straighten our right leg, find our palms come into prayer, And then we're gonna exhale, palms face down, come back to warrior two. Float them overhead. Exhale back. One more time. Floating them overhead. Exhale back. We're gonna drop this back arm, flip our front, keep our right knee exactly where it is. Reverse our warrior. Breathe into the right ribs. Soften the right shoulder. We're gonna cartwheel our hands down to a low lunge. You can flow through a Chaturanga Dandasana, or just step your right foot back, hinge back to downward facing dog. Depends on how much arm building strength you want. We'll all meet in down dog. We'll step that right foot in the center. Inhale this left leg to our three-legged down dog. Bend the left knee. Find your circles on the ceiling. Reverse your circles. Point the left knee down. Exhale your knee to your nose. Round like a cat. Inhale as you release it back. Exhale and round. Inhale. One more time. Exhale and round and pause. We'll step our left foot through for a low lunge. Sink into that right hip flexor. When you're ready, we're gonna float our upper body up to our crescent lunge on this side. Stretch out that right hip flexor. Spin those pinkies forward, thumbs back, slide our shoulder blades down, slightly lift our chin, find our head up, breathing. Next exhale, airplane arms hinge forward. Squeeze that ball behind you. We're gonna inhale up, squeeze those shoulder blades, bring those palms together, interlace your fingers the opposite way, straighten those elbows, and then that chin, that head just comes a little higher, stretching out our heart, our chest, our throat. We're gonna release this spine, inhale our arms overhead, then we're gonna exhale and open up to our warrior two, first one on the left side. Find your proper alignment, knee over your ankle on the left leg, press in the outer edge, pull your inner thighs together, soften your shoulders, and then just glide your hands out for a warrior two. Our gaze is past that right middle finger. We're gonna find our little vinyasa, turn our palms up. As we inhale, straighten that left leg. Exhale, create some resistance as you press those hands down. Inhale up, exhale. One more time, palms meet overhead, left leg straight. Exhale, back to warrior two. Drop your right hand, flip your left, keep your legs where they are. Reverse your warrior by high-fiving the wall behind you. We're gonna exhale, cartwheel our hands down to that low lunge. You can flow through your Chaturanga Dandasana or meet in down dog for 5 breaths. You can always drop to your knees and take child's pose. We're gonna flow through that sequence a little faster and add on. Cast your gaze toward your hands, walk, hop, or step. Exhale as your spine flows over like a waterfall. Inhale as you reverse swan dive up. And we'll just goalpost or cactus those arms. Back up, we're gonna float right back down. Exhale as we melt over. Inhale as we find our halfway lift. Exhale into this forward fold. This time we're just gonna plant our hands and we're gonna step our left foot back for that low lunge. Engage our core, float up for our crescent. Exhaling as we hinge forward with those airplane arms. We're gonna interlace those hands behind our back, Straighten our palms and then just inhale up, lift our heart and our chest here with this heart opener. Float those hands back overhead and then open up to your warrior two. We're gonna drop this back hand, flip our right, reverse our warrior. This is where we're gonna add on. Inhale back to warrior two. Reach our right arm as far as we can go. Come on this forearm. Extend our left arm to the sky for extended side angle. Lift through our left waist. You can always release this right arm on the inside of the right shin. But we're just opening up across our heart and chest. We're gonna inhale up, reverse our warrior here. We're gonna cartwheel these hands down to a low lunge, and we're gonna walk to our left. Find a wide leg forward fold. So toes will be pointing forward. We're finding ourselves here in this halfway lift, maybe our fingertips, our palms, shift our weight forward. If this is any kind of tweak in our knee, slightly turn your toes in. Finding your prasarita, we're gonna tuck our chin to our chest, melt our upper body down like a waterfall. Keep any kind of bend you need in your knees. And maybe slide your hands out to your ankles for a bind. Breathing deeply. Keep shifting those weight in our toes. We're going to slide those hands back in to the center. Find that halfway lift. We're going to walk back toward that right foot for the low lunge. From our low lunge, walk back up to your version of extended side angle. Lifting through our left side body. We're going to cartwheel these hands down to a low lunge. Step our right foot back to meet our left in our downward facing dog. We're going to cast our gaze. We're going to walk hopper step to the top of our mat. Exhale as you melt over. Inhale as you reverse swan dive up. Goalpost or cactus those arms for our heart opener. We're going to take it on our left side. Inhale those arms overhead. Exhale, hinge over those hips. Take those hands to the floor. Step our right foot back for our low lunge. Float those hands overhead, high crescent. Exhale, hinge forward, airplane arms. Interlace those fingers, press those palms together. Next, inhale, come up, puff up that chest, open that heart, release that bind, open up to warrior two. Deepening in to your warrior two. From our warrior two, we're going to drop our back hand, flip our front, reverse our warrior. Inhaling forward, reaching our left hand for extended side angle. Reaching our right hand high to the sky, finding our version. This is our first extended side angle here in our left. So just open the right side body. Lift your right ribs. We're going to cartwheel our hands down to that low lunge. And we're going to walk our hands to the right side this time, finding our wide leg forward fold, adjusting our toes by turning them inward, and just shifting the weight again forward, halfway lift. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Exhale as we melt over, finding this wide leg forward fold. We can find those ankles, and now we can reach around behind our back, pressing our palms together. Finding a heart opener here. This inversion is calming to our mind and our body.
Heart openers, expanding our chest. We'll release the spine, bring our hands back to that halfway lift. Walk back toward our left foot. Find our version of extended side angle by either walking that left arm up or bringing it on the inside, lifting. We're gonna sweep our hands down and around, step this left foot back to our downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here, come down to our knees. We're gonna add on to that flow. We're gonna cast our gaze, walk hopper step. Exhale as we melt over. Inhale as we reverse swan dive up. We'll pull those hands into our heart center and just take a moment in our Tadasana. So we're gonna combine our first series, adding stretches laterally, finding our chair, and then we'll add a little more at the end. So we'll just flow here with our breath, our pace. So we're gonna inhale our arms overhead. Take that right hand, grab that left wrist, exhale over to our left or right side for lateral flexion. Inhale up, switch those wrist grabs out, exhale over to our left. Inhale back up, exhale as we sit in our chair. We're gonna airplane those arms, maybe stretch out those ankles coming up on our heels. We'll reach around, release those heels, find that heart opener. Exhale as we forward fold with this heart opener. We're gonna release our hands here to the floor, step our left foot back for our low lunge, float our arms overhead for our crescent. Exhale and sink, spinning those pinkies forward, thumbs back. We're gonna exhale, open up to our warrior 2. Drop this back hand, flip our front, reverse our warrior. Inhale forward, reaching our right hand, finding our version of extended side angle. Cartwheel those hands down to that low lunge, spin on the back foot, walk around to your wide leg forward fold, Prasarita. Exhale as you melt over. Maybe you find that bind on the ankles. Inhale up to your halfway lift. Exhale as you walk back to your low lunge. Find your version of extended side angle. We're gonna add on here by straightening this right leg and turning our extended side angle into our full triangle. Breathing deeply. Next inhale, we're just going to reverse our triangle. Stretching out. We're going to bring those hands down into our heart center and just step up to the top of our mat. And just take a few breaths here in our Tadasana before we go to our other side. Our heart rate is coming up, so if you need to release any heat, exhale through your mouth. Slow the heart rate by elongating the exhale. We're going to take this on our opposite side. So inhale those arms overhead. Right hand grabs the left wrist. Lift out of the left waist. Exhale over for a lateral flexion. Inhale up, switch out. Exhale over. Inhale up, exhale and sit in your chair. Find those airplane arms. Come by lifting those heels. Release those heels, interlace those fingers the opposite way. Press those palms together. Exhale as you forward fold here with a heart opener. We're going to release our hands and we're going to step our right foot back to our low lunge. Float up to our crescent. Exhale and sink. Inhale and open up to warrior 2. Drop this back hand, flip our front, reverse our warrior.
Inhale forward, reach our left arm, extended side angle. Your variation. We're gonna cartwheel those hands down. Turn that right toe, walk around to our right, finding our wide leg forward fold. Protect our knees, shift our weight forward. Exhale as we melt down. You can just grab those ankles or find a heart opener again. Reach behind your back. Calming our mind and our body here in our forward fold. We're gonna release this bind. Inhale, back up. Exhale as we walk back around to this left foot, coming back by turning those right toes out to your extended side angle. Straighten our left leg, moving into our triangle, our Trikonasana. We're going to reverse our triangle. We'll bring those hands into our heart center and step at the top of our mat. And take 5 breaths here in our Tadasana. We're starting our weekend with our hearts open and our heads up, ready for anything. So from our Tadasana, we're going to inhale our arms overhead, exhale them down to our heart center. One more time, inhale, follow your hands up to the sky, watch your palms meet. Exhale your hands to your heart center. We're going to follow our hands all the way down through our heart center to a forward fold. We're going to come down to our knees. We'll sweep our feet out of the way, extend our legs long in front of us. We're going to walk our sits bones back. If we want to release our low back, we'll bend our knees. If we want to find a deeper stretch in the back of our legs, find those knees, those legs straight. So we're going to inhale our arms overhead. Exhale as we reach over, hinge at our waist, tuck our chin to our chest, soften our shoulders. You can find a connection with your ankles, your shins, or just release your hands at your sides here for a seated forward fold. Inhaling and exhaling. We're going to walk our hands back. And we're going to open our legs wide. So for a wide leg straddle here. So feel yourself on top of your sits bones. If you need to sit on a towel, you can tuck it behind those hips. Roll our shoulders back. Inhale our arms overhead. Exhale as we reach forward. Come down to our forearms, our hands, tuck that chin to our chest. Keep those toes pointing up. We'll walk back in. We're going to take our hands behind us, fingertips pointing forward, pull our elbows in, sit back on our sits bones and pull our shoulder blades together and lift our chin an inch or two, our head up high, puff up our chest. Bring our head back to neutral, sit back on top of our sits bones. Inhale our arms overhead, twist to our right. Exhale as we hinge over our right thigh. Keeping our left sits bones on the ground, we're going to tuck our chin to our chest and let our forehead come to our knee. Here in our wide leg forward fold. We're going to open up laterally. Take our right hand on the inside, palm facing up, elbow at our knee. Take these left fingertips, guide our left shoulder open, stack it on top of the left. Extend our fingertips toward the right toes, opening up here on our left side body. We're going to inhale
inhale up, take our left fingertips diagonal behind our shoulder and just reach those right fingertips past the left shoulder. We're going to inhale up, twist now to our left side. Exhale as we hinge over, tuck that chin to our chest. Take this left hand palm facing up, elbow on the inside of our knee, right fingertips at the right shoulder, stack those shoulders, extend our right fingertips, reaching toward those left toes, keeping our right sits bones grounded on the mat, breathing deeply here into our right side body. Take our right fingertips past the right shoulder. Exhale this left arm diagonal back. We're going to inhale back up. We'll bend these knees and we're going to roll ourselves down. You can grab the backs of your thighs, take your hands at your sides, tuck your chin to your chest, and roll down one vertebra at a time, or just make your way down onto your back. We'll bring our knees into our chest for our Apanasana. Gently rock side to side. We're going to find a double leg spinal twist, bringing our knees over our hips, goalposting or extending our arms directly out from our shoulders. And then as we exhale, let those knees come over to our left side, stacking them and keeping this left shoulder or right shoulder down on the mat. Breathing deeply. We're finding this twist in our thoracic and lumbar spine. If we'd like to add in the cervical spine, take the gaze over toward your right elbow or right fingertips. We'll bring our head back up to neutral. Bring those knees back in line. And then as we exhale, we'll come over to the right side, keeping this left shoulder blade down on the mat. Breathing into our left ribs. Gaze can come over toward our left to add in the upper spinal twist. Head back to neutral. Knees back over our hips. Gently rock side to side. We'll open our knees wider than our hips. Extend the soles of our feet to the sky. For happy baby, we'll reach our peace fingers to our big toes or reach for the inside, the outside. We're going to take our elbows right at our knees. We're going to bring our tailbone back down on the floor. Use our arm strength to guide our knees down. Use our elbows to open them wider than our hips. And we can add in that gentle rock side to side here in our happy baby to massage our low back, our kidneys, our intestines. We're going to remove any kind of bond on our feet. Take our hands on the outside of our knees. Bring our knees into our chest. We're going to wrap those forearms around our knees and bring ourselves into a ball. We're going to take a big, deep inhale through our nose and exhale everything out through our mouth. One more time, a big, deep inhale through our nose and exhale everything out through our mouth. We're going to release our fingertips and toes in opposite direction. A big stretch here. We're going to soften our body now and move into our final relaxation, our corpse pose or any other pose we would like to take for our Shavasana. Open our arms and our legs as wide or wider than our mat. Palms up to receive energy, palms down if we need a little more grounding. Breathing in through our front body. Coming back to that sandy beach. Noticing we have fewer footprints in the sand. Our gentle wave comes into our body and flows right back out, just as our breath comes in through our nose and effortlessly flows back out. It's our own rhythmic breath, our own ocean wave moving in and out from the shore to sea, softening that space between our brow, letting any tension drip past our temples and down toward our earlobes, bringing our tongue away from the roof of our mouth and unclenching our jaw, feeling completely soft and relaxed through our face, feeling our shoulders sink away from our ears and fall back into the mat. Our heart is open. Our chest and belly is soft. And each time we breathe in, we feel that ocean wave move through our spine as it comes into our body and then flows gently back out to sea. Our hips and pelvis are our anchoring and grounding support. Our arms and legs lay effortless at our sides. We breathe with ease. You can stay here in your Shavasana as long as you would like. If you're ready to come back to the room, we're going to take our index finger and connect it to our thumb as if we're holding a small piece of sand, a granule, as we touch the fingertip to the thumb, and then just let it go. Touch your middle finger and connect just with that sand granule between your fingers, and then release. And then our ring finger, and let it release. And then last granule, touch. Feel the pinky connect to the thumb, and then let it go. Wiggle all your fingers, wiggle your toes, roll your wrists and ankles. Slowly guide one knee at a time into your chest, and just take your time to make your way up to a comfortable seated position. When you're ready, we'll inhale our arms overhead and follow your gaze and let those palms meet. Exhale those hands down into the heart center. And maybe your eyes now are fluttered closed, and we follow that gaze up. Connect those hands and bring them down into your heart center. I'd like to offer you my gratitude for allowing me to join you in your practice. I wish you a week filled with openness and sunshine. Namaste.